Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is an honor to introduce Greg Phillips to the Judiciary Committee, who's a nominee for the U.S. 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. I want to thank the chairman and the ranking member, as well as their staff, for acting on Mr. Phillips' nomination in a timely manner. I believe that Mr. Phillips has all the characteristics necessary to serve as a federal appellate judge. I served with Greg in the Wyoming legislature and can say with confidence that he is recognized throughout the Wyoming legal community as a talented and respected and thoughtful attorney. And while I served with him in the state senate, I can assure you that he was recognized as a talented and respected legislator as well. And I should probably also mention that he sat right across the aisle from me. So we were able to confer a lot and occasionally had differing views. But Mr. Phillips is currently Wyoming's Attorney General, and this is important to note because the Wyoming Attorney General is not an elected position. Mr. Phillips is a Democrat who was appointed by a Republican governor and confirmed unanimously by the Wyoming Senate, which is largely Republican. Wyoming Governor and former U.S. Attorney Matt Mead comments that Greg is a first-rate legal thinker, a tireless worker, and has an abiding sense of fair play. Governor Mead goes on to say that if confirmed, all those who appear before Mr. Phillips will find a judge fully prepared, engaged, and respectful to all. It should be no surprise that the American Bar Association unanimously gave Mr. Phillips its highest rating. Greg has extensive experience practicing law as a deputy county attorney and in private practice with his father and brother. Before becoming Wyoming's Attorney General, Mr. Phillips served 7 years as Assistant U.S. Attorney for the District of Wyoming, handling criminal prosecutions and appeals. Greg has argued nearly 20 cases before the 10th Circuit and submitted a variety of briefs, criminal appeals, and responses to the court. Greg studied economics at the University of Wyoming and graduated with honors from the Wyoming College of Law, where he was on the law review. Immediately following law school, Mr. Phillips served as a clerk to the U.S. District Judge Alan Johnson of Wyoming. Judge Johnson writes that Greg is devoted to the rule of law and will honor the remarkable judicial officers who preceded him. Specifically, Mr. Phillips' thorough study of the U.S. sentencing guidelines, experience as a federal criminal prosecutor, and understanding of state and federal legal issues will serve him well on the 10th Circuit. I respectfully ask the chairman to include the following letters, one from Governor Mead, one from Judge Johnson, and then a very important one from the National Association of Attorney Generals. And one reason that's important is that he has the approval here of 34 of the U.S. Attorney Generals. The only reason there aren't more is the time was very short because you scheduled this hearing so quickly, and we're glad for that. We'd rather have a quick hearing than a lot of signatures. But I do recall that you were one of those U.S. Attorney Generals for about 20 years, so 20 you know years, what right. Credibility those people carry. I'd like to conclude by saying that I can personally attest to his qualifications to serve in the position. As I mentioned, he served in the legislature with me, also served on the Judiciary Committee. And Wyoming is proud to call Greg one of our own, and I know that he'll bring a depth of knowledge and legal experience to the federal bench. Mr. Phillips also brought his family with him today, who he'll introduce when he speaks. Members of the committee, Mr. Phillips is highly qualified to serve as the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. I thank you again for holding this hearing and ask that you move swiftly to approve the nomination.